Бой начинается. Повреждение гусеницы. Шанс разрыва увеличен. Броня не пробита. Гусеница сбита. Движение невозможно. Рикошет. Гусеница восстановлена. Можно ехать. Бой начинается. Не пробил. Есть пробитие. Пробитие. Попадание. Повреждение боеукладки. Чуть не взорвалось. Гусеница гусеницы. Шанс разрыва увеличен. Попадание. Гусеница сбита. Движение невозможно. Повреждение гусеницы. Шанс разрыва увеличен. Что?
Not enough minerals.
Ready to raise some optics online.
Not enough minerals. Not enough minerals.
Bandit, go ahead. Ready to raise some hell.
Бой начинается. Пробитие. Броня не пробита. Не пробил. Броня не пробита. Не пробил. Попадание. Есть попадание. Бой начинается. Пробитие. В бой! Можно. Танк уничтожен. Бой! Есть пробитие. Повреждение гусеницы. Шанс разрыва увеличен. Есть пробитие. Гусеница сбита. Движение невозможно. Повреждение боеукладки. Не пробил. Гусеница сбита. Движение невозможно. Гусеница восстановлена. Можно ехать.
Президент Российской Федерации
President of the Russian Federation, Vladimir Putin.
Премьер-министр Индии
Prime Minister of India, Narendra Modi.
Готов. Попадание. Есть попадание. Наводчик контужен, разброс увеличивается. Есть пробитие. Уничтожен.
we suggest that Vladimir see a special international youth section established, as it's the youths that will define the day of tomorrow. These are the people who will build our new future and live there. The participants of that section could jointly analyze and shape and construct a concept of future for their countries and civilizations by and large. Ladies and gentlemen, dear colleagues, Russia has been contributing and will be stepping up its contribution to the resolution of global large-scale in
Бой начинается. Разбит триплекс, видимо, снижено. Триплекс восстановлен, обзор нормальный. Не пробил. Можно ехать. Не пробил. Цель захвачена. Есть оставить цель. Повреждение гусеницы. Шанс разрыва увеличен. Есть пробитие. Танк уничтожен.
healthcare, public administration, and communications between our people, and respectively will set the new paradigm of development for the government, economy, and the whole of the society. In this domain, we will erect our economic and technological policy, industry, and infrastructural development. Will shape open, fair, and liberal environment, business environment, and flexible labor market. Will solve goals that will help attain long-term growth. Right now, we can say that we're seeing a new upcycle in our economy. The GDP of the Russian Federation has been growing the third quarter in a row. Preliminary we assess that in April it increased by 1.4%. Car sales are going up as well as mortgage lending. Why am I mentioning all that? The specialists and professionals know that globally experts believe that these indicators are very important signs of economic recovery and surge in consumer demand. Like, for you to know, I can tell you that in the first 4 months of this year, we have seen this
Броня не пробита. Вращение башни невозможно. Уничтожен механизм. Вращение башни частично восстановлено. Скорость вращения снижена. Повреждение гусеницы. Шанс разрыва увеличен. Есть пробитие. Гусеница сбита. Движение невозможно. Гусеница восстановлена. Можно ехать. В бой! Пробитие. Повреждение гусеницы. Шанс разрыва увеличен. Гусеница сбита, движение невозможно. Танк уничтожен.
funds. I would like to ask the government and the Bank of Russia to expedite the hearing of amendments to legislation that would make the mechanism of syndicated loans more flexible. Just last night, we discussed that with colleagues, and that should be done ASAP. All that will allow us to provide for considerable growth in private financial resources that would be channeled to help launch new projects in the real sector of our economy. Second, to provide for the outstripping pace of economic development. What we need is to step up our investments in transport, energy sector, communications and other infrastructure. A source of additional investment may be private capital and should be private capital, but there are some impediments here, mostly because of the high level of risks. Therefore, we should establish a fair and transparent and clear set of rules that would uphold the interests of investors. The return of investments should be guaranteed with the help of regular payments that will flow from the main beneficiaries of the infrastructure facilities and installations. These are different levels: budgets, infrastructural monopolies, and other users of infrastructure. To provide for this system of payment, we may use the mechanism of governmental guarantees. I'm referring to a certain infrastructural mortgage lending, when facilities and installations will be bought and constructed on credit that was received from private investors, and the users of the facility will gradually repay the loan. To launch this model, I would ask the federal government to come up with an integrated approach, develop infrastructure funding with the participation of private capital, encompassing all stages: preparatory funding stage and the implementation stage. Dear colleagues, it's in our interest to see investments flowing in high-tech sectors of the economy. Several days ago, we have witnessed a maiden flight of a promising Russian medium-range aircraft, MC-21. I'd like to thank everybody. I already talked with the CEO of the works. I'd like to congratulate everybody. Thank you. I'm referring to the aircraft construction sector and other spheres that are of critical importance for our development. We need our own designs and solutions and competence. We should restore that or create them anew. These are advanced industrial materials and technologies, energy systems of accumulation of energy, transport and logistics, information security systems, Arctic technology and offshore development technologies, diagnostics and treatment, agricultural and food technologies. Untying those technology nodes is only possible with the help of major private investors that want new technological solutions and want to diversify their own business so that they can actively get involved in this work. They definitely would need to see favorable, transparent conditions. That can be done with the help of the special investment contract. And I suggest we should think about how to promote that mechanism and streamline that mechanism. We have already seen it in practice. It's in place, but it should become more efficient. We could extend the timeline of contracts from 10 to 20 years. We should provide an opportunity that not only federal authorities and regions investors, but also development institutions and banks and natural monopolies and other structures could participate in a flexible manner. It's about critically important fields. It's about where the investors, without the governmental support, without clear, transparent system would flow in as the benefit and the profit at such projects is not immediate. It's not swift money.
We should also provide more guarantees for demand on the products that are created as part of the special investment contract on the part of the government and the companies with the government participation. And for the whole term of the contract, we should provide the investor with unchangeable tax conditions and other conditions related to state regulation. As for the tax, I would like to suggest that the tax break should be extended for the profit tax beyond 2025. I'd like to underscore that exclusively targeted decisions dedicated to critically important technologies should not undermine the competitive environment and the economy as a whole. I would like to ask the government to analyze all these issues and come up with concrete proposals. And the coming meeting with the business community, we're going to talk in detail about our dimensions and joint work to find solutions to our technological development. Moving on. Very often, the so-called startups are the carriers of breakthrough innovations. They are mostly set up by young research teams, and I'm confident they can be an efficient partner of large-scale Russian business, and we're going to expand this partnership, creating the necessary infrastructure on the basis of our leading higher education institutions. We would like to create innovative science and technology centers, which are going to comprise both education, research foundation, high technology and venture enterprises, and they're going to be closely integrated. I'd like to address the leadership of our largest companies, such as Rostec, Roscosmos State Corporation, United Aircraft Corporation, United Shipbuilding Corporation, Rosatom, as well as other Russian high-technology companies. I call on you to use actively the opportunities that open up. You've got to create special departments that are going to work purposefully with startups and new innovative companies and to set up venture funds to fund these projects. This should not be just idle words. This has to be done, and as soon as possible. The large-scale business, in its turn, should have a special legal mechanism for acquiring equity of small innovative companies. I would like to ask the State Duma and the government to take the necessary amendments to the legislation. Friends, we are going through a very difficult, controversial, but very interesting period, which is full of new ideas, discoveries, projects, and very fast changes. In order to live up to the challenges of the time, we need perseverance and will. We take part in building the future, which has always been determined by audacious people who know what they aspire to, those who want to turn their intellectual capabilities and entrepreneurship into deeds that are bringing good to a country. And these people succeed. They're very young, and they build new business, achieve success in science. They implement civil and social initiatives. And therefore, we are going to multiply our human potential and capital. And I'm confident that we will be able to secure sustainable long-term growth, as well as a new quality of our economy. We'll be able to transform Russia to make the life of our citizens better. Ahead of us is a great deal of creative work, and we call all of you to join in this partnership, which is going to be interesting and mutually beneficial. And I welcome you to Russia and to join work with Russia. Thank you very much for your attention.
And we're going to continue with the speeches in just a minute, but they've encouraged me to ask questions in between if I have any, and I have one that I want to ask Mr. President. You mentioned that Russia's entering a new phase of growth right now, but there remains in Russia a significant income inequality problem. They say that the top 1% here in Russia holds over 70% of the wealth. And just walking around talking to some of the Russian people, they say they're spending too much money on food. They're spending too much money out of their budget on shoes. What's being done to address that?
In order to address this matter, the program I've just mentioned has to be implemented. We've got to develop new technologies. I'm not referring to just wasting money to distributing them for free. What I'm talking about is the need for our economy to generate more income, and this in turn will bring more money to people. They will earn more. This can only be done through new technologies, including digital technologies. The problem you referred to does indeed exist, but this is not just a characteristic of Russia. Many other economies face it as well. We are aware of this problem. We recognize it. This is a very sensitive matter. That's the first thing. But secondly, we cannot wait for too long. That's why the government has to seek instruments, ways to redistribute resources in order to support those who find themselves in a difficult life situation. We've got many instruments like that at our disposal. In particular, I refer to supporting low-income families, helping them to pay utilities. It might seem trivial, but it is of great importance to people. I refer in particular to maternity capital, what we pay to families who've got 2 or more children. I know that you've got 3 children. If you were a Russian citizen, then we would have paid you this maternity capital as well. But this is not sufficient. We also need to build up this targeted support. On the one hand, we've got to help those people who have earned their money in an honest fashion. We've got to help them invest into the development of our economy, not into mere consumption. On the other hand, we've got to come up with targeted measures to help those who need government support.
Thank you very much. And next, we're going to hear from Prime Minister Modi. Sir?
His Excellency,
Mr. Vladimir Putin, President of the Russian Federation, His Excellency, Mr. Christian Khan, Federal Chancellor of Austria, His Excellency, President of the Republic of Moldova, Igor Dodon, His Excellency, Antonio Guterres, the UN Secretary General, ladies and gentlemen. First of all, I'd like to take this opportunity to express my deep gratitude to President Putin for the invitation he has extended to me to attend the St. Petersburg Economic International Forum. This is a matter of pride for both me and India. This is President Putin's homeland. It's a beautiful city. And the people of St. Petersburg are full of graciousness and love and affection. India and Russia's relations are expanding at a very fast pace in all areas of life. We are celebrating 70 years of our diplomatic relations, and at this significant opportunity, I have the possibility of being amongst you all. Across the world, relations between countries of the world have always existed, but there are very few countries where the basis for relations is trust and where the relations are significant, and I can assure you all that for the past 70 years, the relations between India and Russia are not so much based on what is useful, but are based much more on trust. Many changes have taken place across the world, However, our relations have continued to grow. We have also reached many heights, and the depth of our relation has also increased. And the diversity also of our relations has also grown. And for this, I am truly grateful to President Putin for his capable leadership that has made this possible. I find myself here amongst you all, representing a country of 1.25 billion people. The attention of the world is obviously drawn to Asia. And when the attention is drawn to Asia, it is but natural that they will look towards India. For the past 3 years, I've had the opportunity to serve the nation as its Prime Minister. After a period of 30 years, it was for the first time that a strong and stable government was elected with complete majority. And with that, we have been able to take decisive decisions, and that too at a very fast pace. Today, India's GDP is 7% annually. And today we are one of the fastest growing economies of the world. In a very short period of time, India has been able to bring in a number of reforms. With minimum government and maximum governance has been the foundation of our growth. Not red tapeism, but red carpet. And in order to ensure this, we have undertaken a number of reforms. And it is but natural that when there is political will, when there is political stability, when there is clear vision, it is only then that reforms can be undertaken. And if we have a vibrant, proactive democracy, which is in tune with the decision-making bodies, and in a democratic system, it is very easy to undertake reforms. And if everyone participates in the reform system, then transformation can happen. And today we are moving towards transformation. India is a very large country, speaking more than 100 languages, with more than 70 dialects. Diversity is our strength. For the past many years, it is thanks to this diversity that we have been able to bring in a number of reforms. And we have also been able to ensure harmony among our various laws that were different in different states. Today, I can assure you, I can say it with full confidence that we have been able to bring in a uniform taxation system in the country through our goods and services tax. We have been able to complete all the formalities, all the legal formalities, and within a month, the goods and services tax will be applicable across the country. And this will ensure a uniform taxation system within the country, which will be a very useful system, not just for domestic traders, but also for people who want to do business in India from outside. Our society today is technology-driven, and technology is the basis of our development. We have initiated a Digital India movement, and given the status of technology and the influence of the digital economy, it will be important for us to remain alert to the fact that we are able to overcome and reduce the gap, the digital divide, because a digital divide can create difficulty in a country. And therefore, on the path of development, we must bear this in mind, that we do ensure that no digital divide should exist in the country. And that is why we have undertaken a number of initiatives in this direction. As far as financial inclusion is concerned, we have also taken steps to ensure that the poorest of poor are included in the financial system. And within the framework of financial inclusion, we have come up with various schemes that allow each Indian to have a bank account. And thanks to the use of technology, thanks to the use of biometric identification systems, we have been able to ensure this. We are also working towards improving the quality of life, and we have been able to provide so that all the benefits of all our programs are able to reach the poorest of poor. The bank account program, which is a financial inclusion scheme, the biometric identification system, as well as our mobile governance system, will make it possible to ensure economic development for each and every citizen of the country. And we are working towards that objective. Since we came into power, we also took the decision to reduce the complexity of laws. And you may be pleased to note that my government has been in power for only 1100 days, but we have been able to done away with over 1200 laws that had become outdated and that required to be changed.
India wants to move ahead on basis of global benchmarks. If somebody wants to invest from anywhere in the world into India or want to try out their luck in India and want to add the power of India to their journey of growth, and for that global benchmark is absolutely necessary. And of course, one thing you can rate against is the ease of doing business. The World Bank has already rated. However, in a very, very short time, we have been able to be very successful in bettering the environment of ease of doing business in India. In the last 3 years, we have kept ease of doing business as one of our major targets, and under that, we have actually carried out reforms in 7,000 policies and procedures in the federal government, and I'm not including the state government level reforms. No government, I think, has been able to take decisions over 7,000 policies and procedures within a period of 3 years and actually implement them. I think that itself is a big achievement. If I were to add the achievements that have been done by the state government, I think the number will be very big, and I think there are the World Bank itself has revised their ratings with regard to ease of doing business. In fact, the credit rating agencies of the world, like World Bank or IMF, the World Economic Forum, or the other credit rating agencies of the world, all of them have in unison said that India is moving forward. It's an economy which is moving forward very fast and on the route of economic development. In the coming years, India is going to play a very important leadership role, and this emotion is shared with all of these credit rating agencies. Even with regard to foreign direct investment, we have brought about several reforms so that competitive investors in fact, in terms of competitiveness index also, our rankings have improved tremendously. And I'm very happy that with regard to FDI, foreign direct investment, also for the first time in India, in such large volumes, we have been able to attract foreign direct investment. In fact, the world over and the credit rating agencies have mentioned that the most ideal, among the best investment destinations, they have rated India among the top 3 as the investment destinations in the world. And this has been accepted by all the major credit rating agencies. I understand that the investors of the world only decide to come into a country when they know that their investment is secure. I understand that their foremost requirement is security. Whatever it is that they invest, whatever risks they undertake, they need that to be secured. The vibrant judicial system of India is a guarantee in itself to such investors. And one more thing I'd like to say is that English is used extensively in India, so you do not have a problem in interpreting the law of India. So it's very easy for anybody in the world to understand the laws of India. They can understand the meaning of that law, understand what it says, and take decisions accordingly. And I think due to this vibrant judicial system, we have a kind of security guarantee already for foreign investors. And I understand that this itself will be a special, this will be given more focus in India. In the coming years, we have a dream for a new India. And when we dream of a new India, we have to upgrade our current infrastructure. You can imagine that a country whose population is 1.2 billion people, this is a very attractive market for the world, but at the same time, we are a country that has 800 million people who are less than 35 years of age. And today, you can say that India is a young country. This country, which has the youth power, also agree to one thing: the youthful talent of India understand that countries of the world have done various experiments to go to Mars. Some countries were successful after 5 trials or 10 trials or 20 trials, but India remains to be the one single country that made it to Mars in its first trial.
Бой начинается. Пробитие. Пробитие. Повреждение боеукладки. Чуть не взорвалось. Повреждение гусеницы. Шанс разрыва увеличен. Гусеница сбита. Движение невозможно. Гусеница восстановлена. Можно ехать.
I want to invite to all of you. In fact, 1.25 billion people are inviting you and asking you to come to India and to try your luck and to try and grow economically and come to India. With that, I again invite you. And in the end, I would like to convey my best wishes and heartfelt thanks to President Putin, who gave me the opportunity to come here between you and tell you about India. Thank you.
Mr. Prime Minister, thank you so much. We'd now like to welcome to the stage Chancellor Kern of Austria.
Ja, sehr geehrter Herr Präsident Putin, sehr geehrter Herr Premierminister.
Mr. President, Prime Minister Modi.
В бой! Броня не пробита. Броня не пробита. Повреждение гусеницы. Шанс разрыва увеличен. Есть пробитие. Броня не пробита. Рикошет. Готов. Рикошет. Не пробил. Танк уничтожен.
We are confident that economic openness is a premise for political openness, and it is also of great import for peaceful development. Over the recent months, we have been witnessing serious challenges Europe has been facing too, such as the UK's withdrawal from the EU, which has created an unprecedented situation. Over many years, we thought that Europe was driven forward by integration and improved cooperation among countries. And yet, right now, we see that increasingly numerous people in Europe do no longer believe in that, and a part of them has decided to leave the EU.
Не пробил. Есть пробитие. Разбит триплекс. Видимо, снижено. Танк уничтожен.